We good to go?
Yep. Rolling.
I'm here in the home of Ganesh Yanamasingam, who has just last night welcomed Parvati Tervadanam into his home. Parvati has lost her home and her family. Both parents and sister died in the Asian tsunami that killed over 200,000 people 10 months ago on Boxing Day. Parvati is a relative of Ganesh.
Not everyone has died.
Excuse me?
No one find my sister yet.
But it's been 10 months. Okay. Parvati, you've lost your home, your family, your country, and you're here in this alien environment, surrounded by people you don't even know. What will you do now?
Vanakkam நேயர்களே. We have a special guest who came all the way from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Rohan Fernando, a Tamil young talent, a film director who may not be familiar to the Tamil community here in Toronto, but he's well known in Atlantic Canada, and he's known to the mainstream television networks such as CBC and Global, and he has also done several projects with the National Film Board of Canada. And now he has joined here with me in the studio to give us an inside scoop about his feature film, Snow. Vanakkam, Rohan.
Vanakkam, Sudeshi.
Rohan, as I mentioned in my introduction, you may not be totally familiar to the Tamil community here in Toronto, so it is fair to say, give a bit of introduction of yourself, perhaps interest in choosing film industry. So give us a bit of glimpse into your background.
Okay, well, I was born in Jaffna, Sri Lanka. We left when I was 5. We lived in Switzerland for a couple of years and then moved to Canada when I was 8. So I've been in the East Coast for 30 years now. I didn't begin in film. I studied biology at university. And then, I went to film school because I didn't want to do science. But I finished my degree first. And after film school, I moved back home and started making projects.
Wow, from biology to being a film director, it's quite a shift.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about your film, Snow.
Mm-hmm.
I know this movie, this film highlights the struggles of a tsunami victim who loses everything in Sri Lanka and moves to Canada to build a new life.
Mm-hmm.
But tsunami hit Sri Lanka back in 2004.
Yes.
After many years, you're bringing these memories back to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
What inspired you to come up with the film Snow?
Well, I did a documentary on the tsunami. My uncle had lost his wife and his daughter, and I did a documentary going back to Sri Lanka with him. It was 1 year after the 2004 tsunami. And things were still quite fresh. And through the process of making that documentary, I realized that I wanted to go deeper. Like I wanted to get inside the head of somebody that had such a devastating experience. And you can't really do that with documentary because it's not a psychological medium. It's more of it's not surface in a superficial way. It's just that you can't get into the head of your character. So I decided to write a drama, and because I'd been there and I'd spoken to many people, and I really got a sense of what was going on, or I felt that there was a deeper story to tell. So that's inspired me to make the film.
Great. After hearing about the movie film Snow, I feel the title Snow, it's very intriguing. Mm-hmm. Why Snow? Well,
the story is primarily set in Canada. It's only the beginning when the tsunami hits is in Sri Lanka. And I wanted something that symbolized the newness and the magical quality of coming to a new place. And And most people who come from third world and tropical countries, their first snowfall is quite a magical experience. I know it was for me. So I wanted to use that magical quality of snow. And the film also uses the theme of water throughout. It's water that takes her family away. She has to cross the ocean to come here. She sees water in different forms when she's here that she's not used to. And snow was one of the incarnations of water as well.
Okay. The entire film, or at least for the most part, was shot in your hometown, Halifax, Nova Scotia. And I know in one of your interviews you mentioned that you were going after local talents or amateur talents to play the characters in your film. So did you find that a bit risky, walking on a thin ice?
Well, I found it. I didn't find it quite that risky because I'd worked in documentary for so long. I knew that I could work with people that didn't have their craft figured out already. So, I mean, Telefilm, though, who was one of the major financiers of the project, was very nervous that I was using non-professional actors. But I talked to them about how important it was to have an authentic experience. The characters that are in the film play first-generation immigrants in a place like Nova Scotia where there isn't a lot of immigrants. And I wanted people to use their own experiences for the character. So I cast people that could access their emotions and had experiences that were similar to the characters they were playing. And we did do workshops for about a month. So for about a month before we started shooting. So I really got a sense of what they were capable of.
Okay. Let's talk about the lead actress in your film, Callista. I'm very happy to say that she's from Vaughan, Ontario, and she was also born in Sri Lanka. So what made you to choose her?
Well, I knew that the lead character I needed a really strong performer, so I came here to audition established actors. When I saw Callista, she hadn't done anything of this magnitude before. She had done some television, but I saw in her a real commitment to go as deep as the character needed to go, and that's all I really needed. And she's beautiful, and the camera really, I think the camera really likes her. Her expressions are complex, and they register really well on film.
Last but not least, let's talk about why you're here in Toronto. As we speak, your film is being screened at Real World Film Festival. To spice up the excitement, it is being chosen as the opening gala film for this year at the festival. So it's double the excitement. How do you feel about it?
I'm very, very excited. I'm very thankful to the festival for choosing it. It's an honor, and it's our Canadian premiere. So it gives us a nice splashy way to present it to actually, and the fact that it's in Toronto and it's with this large Tamil and South Asian audience makes it very exciting for me.
You've lost your home, your family, your country, and you're here in this alien environment, surrounded by people you don't even know. What will you do now?